By now, we all know about the conversion that Britney Renner made in the last year. She went from going around acting like this.
Because my dating pool is, my
expansive.
God, impressive, expansive. I've had sex with 35 guys.
To now talking like this.
When I originally joined Instagram July of 2012, I joined for two reasons: validation and male attention. And now that I no longer need either of those things, I am developing a new relationship with just social media itself.
It's a complete 180, and some guys are still skeptical, even including me, waiting for her to fall back into Th0tting it up. But of course, she hasn't done that just now, and she's still practicing Islam at a high level, at least from what I can tell. But not everyone has a success story like Britney Renner. Today we're talking about somebody a little bit different. Her name is Alexis Sky. Now, Alexis Sky is an influencer. She's a single mom, and she used to be a stripper, but she shared a pretty good, interesting story with Jamal Bryant on his podcast. Now, she had converted to Christianity after being an IG model because the guy that she was dating had promised to marry her.
I was just really just in a space where I was dating somebody, and I'm not going to say any names, and I'm thankful for this person because it was never that I never believed in God. I just wasn't really close to him. And it was somebody that was in my life that had an influence. And, I was so focused on being a wife and being loved on and being wanted that I was just like, okay, well, I have to change who I am in order for this person to accept me.
Yeah.
And I was more so focused on that versus my walk with God. I was doing it more for what that person wanted, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, maybe if I change my image on Instagram or I change how I am, then I'll be his wife or I'll do this. So
now, if you heard that first part, she was about to get married, but somehow the conversation came about where, listen, hey, I really want to deal with you, but you're out here Th0tting it up. Booty clapping sounds! So I can't really, be out there with you like that. You need to change some things up. And so she was like, okay, let me change up my stuff because I really want to marry this guy. This guy said he's going to pay out my bills. So she tried, but there is a problem.
Okay, Alexis, are you ready for this? But I really wasn't ready, you know? And it's not saying that I wasn't ready to walk with God. It's just I wasn't doing it the right way. I was more so doing it for somebody else. And so it just happened overnight. So next thing you know, I'm on the internet telling the world, like, I stopped doing this, I stopped doing that, I stopped doing that. But this is who Alexis really was, And I was changing myself for somebody else and not for me. And that person had a major impact. And I don't regret it, because that was what was supposed to happen. But just coming from, I used to dance. I've been in trafficking, and just the lifestyle that I've came from, that's all I know. So people can't fault me for being on the internet, showing this or doing this or having an OnlyFans or doing that, because that's all I was taught. I never went to college.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to have a degree. So my life is make fast money.
The problem was she was just used to being in the streets. She's talking about like, hey, I used to be in trafficking. I used to do this. I used to do that. And, it just kind of wasn't working out for me because it's all I know. And he left at the end. You can watch the podcast. He promised to pay her bills and do things for her, but he ended up leaving her. And of course, she's not going to tell you why he left her, but I think that's the real reason. He ended up leaving her because she just couldn't get it out of her. And if you look at her Instagram right now, she's supposed to be a Christian, but she's still wearing very revealing things. She's kind of still in the streets. At least that's what it looks like. But she made a point. I was doing this for somebody else and not doing this for him. And I kind of wanted to bridge into this because I have a really close friend that is struggling with the same thing. Storytime music! So my homeboy, he loves this girl, right? And he's the kind of guy, like, he likes his woman to look a certain kind of way. It doesn't matter if you're a nice girl and you're like thin or slim thick. He'll entertain you, but he's not gonna talk to you. You have to have a donkey booty like this, what you're seeing right now. If you don't have something like this, he's not gonna deal with you, okay? At all. And you gotta be clappable from the back. So it just so happened, that he ended up getting this chick that was like an IG model and stupid thick, right? Of course, the sex was amazing, things like that. And one night they're spending the night at his house, and the phone rings. She answers the phone, or at first she didn't want to answer the phone. He tells her to answer the phone. It's the dude on the other line. And the dude was like, "Hey, what's up, sexy?" And mind you, it's like 1 a.m, right? So my friend is going ballistic. He's going crazy. Yo, what's up? You don't respect me. Like, why do you have this other dude calling me right now? Like, what's going on? Like, what's going on with that? Like, who do you think I am? And like, who is the guy? Call the guy back. The lady doesn't want to call back. It was a big mess. And right before that, he was trying to get her to post their picture on Instagram, on TikTok. She was like, nah, she didn't want to do it. And so he was calling me like, yo, bro, man, I don't know what's wrong with her, man. Like, man, she not listening. You know, she ain't trying to really be serious about this relationship. And the whole time I'm trying to tell the guy, like, man, go look at her Instagram, dog. Like, she's not serious about anybody. Like, she has different dudes. Like, you see her in Dubai, you'll see her in Zambia. Like, this is a chick, man, who don't want to cut her water off by putting your ugly ass on the IG. The thing is, you been knew this, and you knew this because if she wanted to do it, she would have done it, but she doesn't want to do it. So, and if she's doing it for you. She's not doing it for herself. And this is the difference between Britney Renner. The change that Britney Renner is making, she's not making that change for a man. She's making that change because she sees value in being, you know, a Muslim. She doesn't want to be a thot anymore. She didn't like where her life was going. So she changed her life. And I think a lot of times men deal with women, including myself, and we're trying to get with them and we want them to change to be with us. And the reality is that even if they do change and if they don't like it, they're going to go back to what they know, right? And they have to enjoy the process of them changing. But we get mad as men. And what we need to do, if we're really going to be happy, like leaving all big booties and juicy boobies aside, is to pick somebody that we feel we have values with. I mean, just think about it. If you have friends, if you have family, but people you spend your time with, it is so easier to spend your time with people that are aligned with your same moral values. Now, it's interesting, as men, we pick people like this as friends all the time. But when we pick, women, it's like, where them chicks at? Bia, who the club is? We're looking at how beautiful somebody is, how much ass they got and everything else. And we're trying to get that lady to change. And unfortunately, that lady isn't going to change, man. And you need to stop thinking that you can make her change. I know I say this all the time in my videos. I know a lot of brothers don't really get it. But listen, man, I know you think you're He-Man. I know you think you're the best in bed. I know you think you got the most game. Most guys think of themselves like that. And that's why y'all don't make no sense. But there is no way in hell you are going to make anybody change anything, okay? I just want you to know that right now, bro. You don't have any power like that. You are not God. You are not her daddy. And she's not going to change for you, okay? Now, there are some little things that she can do. If she respects you, she can do those things. But as far as who she is as a person, it should already closely align to your values before meeting you. That's the best way it's going to work. So if you have a problem with women showing off provocative clothes or showing things off online, well, before you meet her, she shouldn't be doing those things. So if she's not doing those things when you meet her, then we don't even have that as an argument, all right? Like the whole talking back thing, respecting. If she has a hard time doing that, then basically you need to find somebody who doesn't have a history of doing that. Like they don't think that that's cool, so then they don't do it. And when you meet with a person like that, it is such easier to have a relationship with them because now you guys are working within those fundamental values. But when you're not working in fundamental values, then you have expectations of somebody who either can't change or don't want to change for themselves, and it's not going to work. Just think about every great company that's operating right now. Most great companies, I would say like Apple or Google, they have employees who are just not there to get paid. They really love what they do. I'm talking about those people who are really, really good at the industry. Any industry, if you look at the food business, you look at Apple, like the people who really make business go are people who really enjoy and love what it is they do every day. And those are the kind of people that really, really stand out. And same thing goes with the lady, she has to really, really love her moral character and her moral value, the way that she is. And then once you connect with her, everything will pretty much be okay. But if not, then you're going to end up with a problem like Alexis Sky. And, you know, you might be sexually compatible with her. You may have a vibe with her, but it's not going to go any further than that. And the only thing that can happen is destruction. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Oshadu Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all you do. Heard the bell. We're out.